Here are 3 reasons why your first dates go nowhere. Welcome back, boys. I told you I would keep up with the regular uploads, and here we are again for another video. And this video is 3 reasons why your first dates don't go anywhere. She ghosts you, she blocks you, she doesn't want to talk to you again, she won't meet you again. Whatever the scenario, there's a reason why she won't meet you again, and it's on you. So in no particular order, number 1, you're not attractive. Now this takes a very humble man to sit back and think, am I actually an attractive person? And for most people, no, you're probably not very attractive. The average person is average. They're not that attractive, but they could be because they don't do that much for themselves. They don't get regular haircuts. They don't wear clothes that fit them. They're not in good shape. They don't groom themselves very well. They have yellow teeth. All these small things that make a big difference, they don't do these things. And you can tell when a girl finds you attractive because her face and her eyes will literally light up on the first date. And although looks aren't everything, it makes your life a million times easier if you look the part. Don't give her a reason to say no. And if you want to see exactly what you can do to be a million times more attractive, I have a free looks maxing guide in my bio or description below. Go and download that now. That will save your life. Number 2, you pick a boring date. When my clients come to me because they can't escalate on a date or they don't know how to, I ask them, what kind of dates do you usually go on? And they tell me a drink, a meal, a walk, a coffee, and it's the same things over and over again. And I'd say to them, you are never going to be able to escalate on those kinds of dates. Not when you're a beginner anyway. And why? They're not fun. These are boring dates. In order for you to be able to escalate, she has to be in this relaxed, comfortable, playful state. And coffee date, first of all, she's going to be off her nut on caffeine. She's probably going to be ready to go to the toilet as well. This will give her anxiety, her cortisol will go up. So of course she's not going to be relaxed enough to allow you to escalate. And also, if you're doing a coffee date, it's probably first thing in the day. She probably has other things that she's doing after the date that are on her mind. That's more important than you. A meal is probably the worst date you can ever do, because why are you investing money into a person who you don't know? There is nothing more awkward than sat opposite a person like this who you don't know, watching them slop their food around. I don't know about you guys, but I find that shit disgusting. I don't want to see somebody eat on a first date, and I certainly don't want to waste money if this girl turns out to be boring or not for me. So it's for that reason that I always had the exact same date routine. Over 100 dates, I did the exact same thing. I went for an activity and then a drink. The activity was always pool. When I was younger, sometimes I did bowling or mini golf, but the issue with those 2 activities is they don't last very long and they're quite expensive for a young guy anyway. You may play your 2-3 games, and if she's still nervous, she's still being shy, you then have to go somewhere else, and now you're sat opposite her, and now it's even more awkward. The purpose of the activity is to get her relaxed, to be able to tease her, poke fun at her, take the piss out of her, tell her she's shit at whatever activity it is. So it's for that reason that I always pick pool, because pool, you can play this endlessly, and the point is you play this until she's visibly relaxed, and then you can go somewhere else and go for a drink and then get more intimate. And that's exactly what I would do. You go and play pool, maybe after a few games, a few drinks, she's laughing, you're joking around, she's relaxed, she's giving you eye contact, she's now smiling, she's stopped fucking shaking because she's so nervous, which has happened to me before. And then you go to a bar, and now in the bar, now things get serious. Now you can sit next to her, you can put your arm around her, you can flirt with her, but it's very, very important that you don't sit opposite her. Sitting opposite her is probably the worst thing you can do on a date, because you're literally triggering the girl's PTSD from job interviews that she's had. There's nothing more confrontational than sat like this. Just with the meal, it's going to be awkward. It never won't be awkward. You have to look at her the entire time. And think about how this looks from a woman's perspective. Even though you have to look at her, otherwise it's rude. It's very needy. It's very desperate. That's exactly why I will put a girl next to me, because when she's next to me, I can go from giving her intense eye contact, my arms around her, I'm smiling, I'm smirking, I'm manipulating my tone, I'm going, yeah, you must be one of those girls then. But then I can break my eye contact, I can look around, I can pretend I don't really give a fuck about you all this date. This makes me seem a million times more attractive, because the more I can seem like I'm just here for fun, I don't really care about this outcome of this date, again, the more attractive she will find me. Make your life easier, pick the right date. And finally, number 3, which is definitely the most attractive thing, is you don't polarize. Now, what is polarize? Oh, polarity. It's opposites. She's feminine, ideally. You're masculine. And if you're watching this as a man, you most likely want a feminine girly girl. But what you have to understand is she can't be feminine until you give her that environment in which she can actually be feminine. The burden is completely on you. If you are not being masculine, she won't be feminine. So if you've been on dates with girls who are combative, hard work, quiet, shy, it's on you, mate. It's your responsibility to put her in that position where she can relax, be feminine, open up, and then allow you to escalate. So what do I actually mean by polarity? Well, the easiest way to have some polarity is through a compliment, but not a simpy, weird compliment, like a genuine compliment. And the way I would do this personally, because this is my personality, I would always do it with a backhanded compliment or some sort of joke attached to it, because I didn't want to come across as every other a simp in her DMs or in person giving her a compliment, because I guarantee she's been called beautiful 20 times a day, at least. Every day since she had a pair of tits. So I might say something like, you know, for a girl who has man hands, you're quite cute. For a girl who is blah blah blah, you're quite interesting. For a girl who's from this area, you're actually quite sound. And basically what I'm doing is I'm showing you I'm interested, I'm saying you're attractive, but I'm surprised because you're from this area. You can also say things like, you know what, I find you so attractive, and I actually would have made you my girlfriend, but you do blah blah blah. Using the previous example, I might say something like, you know what, Jessica, you would be the perfect girlfriend for me, but you've got hands like a man, so this could never work between us. I'm playfully rejecting her, but I'm also polarizing. I'm showing her I'm a man, I'm different. I find you attractive, but this could never work between us. This is highly attractive because most guys, they're too afraid to take the piss out of her. They're too afraid to make jokes, poke fun at her, but this is what polarity is. You must show her that you don't really care. You're not dependent on an outcome, because the moment you do this, the moment she actually finds you attractive. Incorporate these things into your everyday routine or dates, and I promise you, escalation will become very easy. Insert this coaching bit somewhere through the video. Bro, you've been watching all these self-improvement videos, these videos about dating. You know you need to work on this, you know you need to improve, but you don't know where to start. You can start by booking a free call in my description below, but we will run through the current issues and problems you may be facing, and we'll see if we have a solution for you, and if working with me will be a good fit for you. If that sounds good, the link is below. Now back to the video. I hope you all enjoyed that video. I find these kinds of videos far more entertaining, and you probably find it far more useful. And if you want to see more of me, go and watch my other shit, and go and follow me on Instagram and TikTok, because I'm way more active on there, especially Instagram. Until the next video, see you all later, boys.